Hello there guys and welcome back to another speed build. Now, I actually cut this out, but originally I had a whole different idea for a house, and as I was trying to do it, it just looked absolutely horrific. So I don't know if this one looks any better. And it's very large, but let's preface this by what I was going for. So originally I was just going to do a large family home. But this build actually ended up kind of turning out to be sort of a holiday home. Now, the main reason I say that is because it's massive, but it's not extremely furnished. Like, it's not very personal, if that makes sense. Like, the bedrooms don't have personal photos or clutter or anything like that, because it's just like a short stay holiday home. It could maybe work well in like Discover University, like a bunch of university students, because once we get into the build, you'll see why. Now, the roofing for this build was super simple, actually. I probably could have made it a little bit more crazy, but, you know, I don't like doing roofs. So I make them as simple as possible, and I feel like it actually does look quite good, I guess. Now, I kind of feel like at the end of this build, I don't know if I love it or not. It was just really hard. I just kept going back and forth with so many ideas, especially because it is such a big house. Like, I like the idea, I like the main part of the house. I just wish maybe I did some of the exterior differently, but I'm not going back to change it now. So, but yeah, so this is the roof. It's definitely nothing crazy. I do actually quite like it. I think it suits the house quite well because the house definitely has a bit more of a modern style to it, I suppose. Now, I did build this in Newcrest. The only reason I'm building in Newcrest is because obviously it's empty. I don't think this build works well here, really, but it's just, yeah, I don't know. It definitely doesn't fit. I don't know what world it would fit better in. Like, I'm not sure off the top of my head if I went back and change it, what I would do. So originally what I was going to do is have that little part of the front there, have a glass roof, and it be, I don't know, maybe like a greenhouse or something, but it just looked a bit funny, so I end up deleting that. But the idea was there, I just couldn't execute it very well. I know there was probably a way I could have done it, but I didn't have the mental strength to figure that out. Now, this house is actually on quite a large platform, but I really did just want it on a large platform because I thought with the pool, it would look a lot cooler if the house was a lot higher than the pool was. Now, I don't know what I was trying to do here. I love watching this back, like, because obviously this build, I think, took me about a week, just like on and off, coming back and forth to it. So it makes me giggle watching what I was doing like a week ago and just having no idea at what I was attempting to do. But yeah, so then I just added these staircases in. Now, yeah, like, so I feel like every time I try and do commentary, I feel like I'm terrible at it. Now, I do end up moving the house back because my main image for this house was having like a really large, nice pool, because when I think of a holiday home, that's the first thing I think of, is like a beautiful, large pool. And I just love making a pool in The Sims. I do. Do my Sims ever use it? No, not really, but it feels like such a staple. So as you can see, I obviously made the balcony just a bit bigger instead of doing my initial greenhouse idea, which I actually think I really like, because I feel like a lot of my builds I do actually make balconies, but there's never usually enough space for me to fully do anything with it. Now, this is obviously the first time I was trying to use the glass walls. Now, I actually can't remember if I used much of it at all, because the original look was to have it like that, and I think it has potential to look good, but I just feel like it wasn't really what I was going for, especially because once I did put the rooms and stuff inside, I feel like it just looked a little funny, because obviously you can see everything inside the house when you have glass walls, and obviously this isn't like a nice, well decorated house. Like, I think it's like, it's nice, but it's not like extremely decorated. Like, it's quite empty. But I feel like that's kind of what a holiday home is. Like, you're not gonna have a ton of just stuff in there. So yeah, this is kind of, I wanted to make it really open plan, so inside, outside, like, kind of, I don't know, like, flows well, I guess. So obviously to the left, like where that black build, like the black main build is, that's pretty much the main house. So the second floor is all house, and that first floor, that little black area, is house. So everything else is kind of just like an open underground. No, that's that's definitely not the right way to phrase it. It's like an open first floor. So, I mean, you probably would have seen a little bit of it from the thumbnail, but basically I wanted it to just have a bunch of different activities for a huge group of people. Like, this isn't a family holiday home. I'm picturing like it's, I mean, I'm not American, but like a sorority, maybe, like a frat holiday home. Like, that's kind of the vibe it's giving, as you'll see as we move on. Now, this build was really big. I'm kind of glad that it was a holiday home and not a family home, because decorating this for an actual family living in here would take me so long. Like, especially because I didn't really think of like any lore for this home specifically. Obviously, because in my head it was a holiday home. But without any lore, it would have been actually impossible to decorate this house. I feel like I really struggled with the floor plan as well. I do go back and forth quite a lot because I did have a vision, but I kept changing back and forth on what I really wanted. And basically by the end of it, I just made a ton of bedrooms with like a ton of beds in each bedroom, just because I was thinking about it. And I'm like, obviously in The Sims, you can only have like 8 people per household. I'm not sure how many people you can take on a holiday, but I'm assuming it's probably 8. I mean, unless you have a mod where you can take more. But this house, I think, would sleep up to like 20 people. That's the kind of house energy I was going for. Even if like not everyone's staying there, but they could just stay like overnight because maybe, you know, they were partying with everyone the day before. Like, that's kind of the vibe this is giving. So it's pretty like mundane walls and wallpaper, because I mean, you know, it's just kind of like a modern-esque vibe. It's so funny because you can definitely tell at the start here how excited I was about the prospect of the glass walls, because once we get to the end of the build, I don't even know if I end up using any, or I think I do just use some on the second floor and that's it. But it's just so funny what, like, you can clearly tell how excited I was to finally use them. But that being said, I do want to try and do like another modern home build, because I do really want to try and utilize those glass walls, because I feel like that's something I've just been waiting for so long. So I feel like it'll be a lot of fun. So I really do want to give that a go. I did say in my last video as well, I did just buy the new enchanted pack. So I really want to build some sort of like fairy cottage or something like that to try and use that pack a bit as well. Because obviously, like, I'm keen about the pack and I like the idea of fairies, but I did realize like a lot of the build items are very specific, which is great. But obviously, like, unless I'm making some enchanted fairy house, I'm not going to use half those items. So I really want to try and build something like a fairy cottage or something like that. Maybe like a fairy castle, just because I feel like that'd be so out of my comfort zone. Like, it'd be like nothing I've ever tried to build before, and I feel like that'll be a lot of fun. So that's hopefully what's next on my list. That being said, I feel like that's going to take me weeks to do, because I just overthink everything ever. There's a lot of back and forth on this build. Like, it's actually kind of fun watching now because I know how it finishes, but like the vision I had originally, because there was a lot of back and forth. Yeah, like originally I kind of wanted this to be a bar area with seating, and it would also have like a barbecue, but it just, everything I tried to do just didn't look right, and I just decided against that entirely. I don't know why. I feel like it would have been really cool if I could execute it correctly, but everything I did, it just looked a bit strange. But yeah, so I end up just kind of doing that as a platform for the balcony, and then just having the underneath open, because originally I did also do all glass walls for that section, but I just, yeah, it just wasn't hitting. So I feel like I do like when I ended up doing with just the, what's it called? Just essentially just it being open rather than an enclosed room. Then I just decided to come in and do like a sort of a floor plan just to see how much space I really had. So this house has a massive kitchen. It is huge. It has 2 sinks as well. Now, again, it's barely furnished, but I feel like that's just a holiday home energy, because obviously you want a ton of space, especially if you have like 20 people there, because you can imagine like it just being covered in like alcohol. You know what you know what I mean? Like that's the vibe it's giving. So obviously I just wanted it to be nice and empty. Again, I do shocker, I do a glass wall there as well because the lighting on this lot isn't great. So I was just trying to utilize as much light as I could, especially inside the house because it's quite dark. Because I don't know if it's just my game, but I feel like The Sims, when you build a big property, lighting is a huge issue. Like, no matter how many little lights you place, I feel like it just doesn't do enough. So I was trying to combat that as best as I could. Now, this is when I start to kind of realize I think the glass walls look a little goofy. Like, I like the idea of them, but I feel like sometimes they just don't hit. And I feel like with this build, it just wasn't hitting the way I wanted it to. I do like those black framed, what's it called, windows more than the just glass walls for this build in particular. I feel like I needed that contrast of color a little bit more than just the plain glass wall. So this is me again just doing a quick rundown. It's a bit of a weird floor plan for the second floor, but I didn't want it to be super enclosed. Like again, as I said, I want it to be really open. That's just the vibe I'm going for. So it's pretty much just a ton of bedrooms, and I think I did 3 bathrooms. There is only 1 bathroom on the bottom floor, so I felt like 3 at the top would probably be best. There is sort of like in the outside section, there is a communal shower and toilets. So I also wasn't that concerned about only having 1 bathroom inside the home on the first floor. But yeah, bathrooms are not a problem in this house is basically what I'm getting at. So there is only 2 bedrooms on the bottom floor. I did just again want to keep it as open as I could because I feel like this is kind of the communal area where everybody would be hanging out. So that was my vision essentially. It's just so funny seeing how many glass walls I use. But yeah, I don't know, like I kept going back and forth with this plan because obviously open living is the vibe, right? Like that, I brought it up so many times. That's what I'm going for, but I didn't like how empty it looked. So, yeah, that was my issue. I kept going back and forth about like, do I just try and enclose it a bit more? Do I add more rooms? Because like realistically, with how big this build is, you could have like double the bedrooms that I actually end up doing. Now, the actual house itself is definitely nothing exciting. The exterior bit on the first floor is more where I guess the effort gets put into. Now, as you can see, I was originally going to put these sort of, what are they called? Lounge chairs, that's what they're called. I kept wanting to say day beds, but they're definitely not day beds. Originally, I was just going to do like a ton of lounge chairs and a bar and a barbecue, but I do kind of end up steering sort of a different way, only because even when you play The Sims, realistically, stuff like the lounge chairs, you can't really do much with. Like, you're sure your Sim can lay in it, but that's kind of it. So I wanted to have just a little bit more interaction with stuff. That being said, I doubt I'll ever actually play in this house, but you know, you never know. But yeah, so this is me still trying to think, because I could see a barbecue and a bar looking really nice here, but I feel like I just need a couple more like packs to make it look better. So we decided against that. Now, look, I was so close to putting in a treehouse, but I kind of decided against it because I guess realistically, I don't think many kids would be staying here. But yeah, basically at this point, it's just a lot of back and forth because I couldn't decide what I wanted to do with each part of the house. So I kept just stalling and kept moving back and forth about, no, I just do a bedroom instead of the main part of the house because I don't know what I want to do with it. There was definitely a lot of back and forth here. But if you can't tell, I've actually had to start filming this voiceover like a couple days apart, so I can't even remember what I've already spoken about. So if I repeat myself, I am so sorry. I kind of forgot that I didn't finish this voiceover the other day, so now I'm just trying to finish it now. But today it's actually pouring down with rain. Like the rain has been non-stop, it's been hailing, it's actually quite crazy because the past couple days we've had such nice weather. So I guess I kind of got a false sense of security, and now there is terrible weather. I'm obsessed with that painting. That's actually a TV, by the way. I've been using that non-stop. I think that's such a cool idea. Anyways, I'm actually going away tomorrow for a week, so I was trying to get this done before I go away because otherwise I have to film my voiceover in front of other people, and that is a horrifying thing to experience that I don't think I'd be able to do. So we're gonna try and speed run all of my voiceovers today so that I don't have to do it while I'm away. That being said though, I suck at voiceovers, I feel like. I just get so nervous and I don't know what to say, which is so funny because like I obviously speak to the camera quite frequently, but it feels so much weirder doing a voiceover after the fact. But I have tried to film myself talking while building in real time. That absolutely not. I forget I'm filming half the time and I just sit there in silence. So that probably wouldn't work very well with the with the whole voiceover thing. You'd literally just be watching me play in silence and me sighing for like 3 hours. But yeah, so this is where I struggle, as I said, with the whole open living area. More so just because obviously people don't live here, as I've said, it's just a holiday home. So you can't really have it super personalized, like decorations and stuff like that. So I kind of struggled with that really hard. Like, that's the same thing with building like restaurants and things like that. I've never built one because I think I mean, as you can see, I really struggle not making something really personal to a specific person. Like, for example, the video I filmed today was just a full pink apartment. Like, the lady is just obsessed with the color pink and her entire apartment is pink. Like, I feel like I need that sort of vision when I'm building. So when I'm just building like a holiday home with not much character to it, it was a struggle. It was a struggle for me. So as you will see, it's so funny actually watching this back from how much I changed it to what it is currently. But like originally I was trying to make it way too homely. Like obviously it can still be homey, but that wasn't exactly what I was going for. So a lot of the stuff you see here will be gone by the final build because I was just trying to make it so cozy and stuff like that, and I just don't think that's the type of build that this is. Not every build has to be nice and cozy. That being said, I have never built in this Newcrest lot before. It's gorgeous. It's such a nice lot, like right next to the water. There's a little kids playground. I do like the idea of Newcrest, but I kind of wish they just made it like a normal world, that they've made like NPC sims and like just other houses and stuff like that. I don't really love the fact, like I understand the idea of it's just a blank world and you can do whatever you want with it, but I kind of like having some sort of vibe to go off of, like from the other houses and stuff like that, because this, as I've already said, this does not fit in Newcrest. Like even though there's no other buildings here, it just does not look right, because this is obviously like if you watch Little Simsy, I imagine Newcrest is just being the blue Suburbans that she builds. Like that's how I see Newcrest. So this sort of modern-esque holiday home probably isn't great for Newcrest. I always just build here because I know all the empty lots are here. But like you said, I did also say, I remember saying this last time I was filming, is I don't even know what world it would fit in, to be honest. I actually, because I also obviously don't have all the packs as well. I have a good amount of them, but I definitely do not have all of them. But if you guys have any thoughts on what world you think it would fit in, let me know because I am intrigued. There are a couple small things to this build that I didn't love, but also I kind of felt like it's overall finished by the time I was done. It was just like a couple small things, like I don't know if I have them up yet, I probably don't, but I put hedges around the outside of the fencing and they do clip with the inside of the fencing, but I wasn't that concerned about it because you can only see it from a certain angle. And also, if anyone was to use this, which they won't, but if they did for any reason, they could probably just change it to however they want it to be. I just felt weird not having a fence around it. I just always feel like my builds need a fence. So that being said, it could have actually maybe looked better without it. It's just hard because, as I said, the house doesn't really fit in Newcrest. So I was just trying to make it more sort of secluded, like kind of shut off from the rest of it to make it look like a little more like it belonged in Newcrest. But yeah, so this is when I decided that these stairs needed to be moved because as you can see, yeah, with that front bit, it just looks so cozy and nice, and that's not the type of holiday home this is. But as you can see, I did get the Dream Home Decorator pack only recently. Like, I think I bought it like a week ago. I'm obsessed with those, what are they called? Like those couches where they clip together. I know they have a specific name, but I don't know what it's called. I'm obsessed with them. In my build I did today that I'll upload next week as well, I use them like crazy. They're everywhere in that build as well. This is a problem when I get a new pack. I just solely focus on that pack and nothing else. So you've probably noticed that as well. But yeah, it's kind of sad actually, because it is kind of cute. But yeah, as you can see, like I did try and clutter up even that little table in front of the couch. It's like a tissue box and I think some books. But again, it's a holiday home, so I feel like it shouldn't have any sort of clutter really. So I do end up getting rid of it as well. I feel like maybe I'm just overthinking it, and I can understand that if you guys think maybe I was just overthinking it a little bit. And then I, for some reason, just really wanted a fireplace inside. That did not end up happening. I just got so drawn to the idea, but I really struggled with this half wall because it just looked so bland. I wanted to put something in front of it, but I didn't quite know what, because I was thinking another couch, but I felt like that was just unnecessary because there's obviously already so many seating options. Like we have the 4 seats in the kitchen, and then you have the 8-seater table, as well as the couch next to the front door. So then I was like, maybe a pet could be here, like a cat. Again, I do mess around with this for a while actually, but then I'm like, it's a holiday home, and if someone was to bring the animal, they'd probably bring the animal stuff with them, so I feel like you don't really need them at the house. But I was messing around with this idea for ages, because in every build I do ever, I always want them to have a cat or a dog, so ignore that, okay? But yeah, again, I love a good plant. If anything looks bland in The Sims, I just chuck in a plant and call it a day. Don't really know if that's a good way to go about it, but I've always done that. I feel like plants are just the savior of Sims. All my Sims builds, if they didn't have plants, I think they'd be 10 times worse than they were. Now, I always try and use this fish tank from the dine-in pack, okay? I'm obsessed with that fish tank, but it just does not fit. I ended up getting rid of it as well, but I thought it would. Like, I had such a good feeling. I was like, I'm gonna finally be able to use this fish tank. Yeah, no, it does end up leaving the scene. It just did not fit the vibe. But again, I just kind of wanted to add this, like, obviously this is a holiday home, but I did also want to add more stuff the Sims could do to, you know, improve their skills and stuff while they're here. To be fully honest with you though, I don't remember what I end up keeping, what I end up getting rid of. So half this stuff, if not all of it, might be gone by the end of the build. Don't know why I can't remember. It has been like a week since I finished this build, but I genuinely can't remember what I end up getting rid of and what I end up keeping. My biggest struggle with this open area, I've said that a couple times, I feel like I just struggled with everything, but the carpet was a big struggle for me as well. Just because I feel like having multiple different carpets in one big area where there's no walls dividing it just look weird. But I feel like I was also just overthinking it like crazy. And also, because of the glass walls, I really struggled with, you know, I think I've already said this too, but with the interior, because obviously you can see it from the outside. So that was a kind of a struggle for me as well. Now, where that piano and that easel is, that all gets, like, that doesn't end up being there at all. Obviously, you'll see in due course what I end up doing, but the easel ends up going on the 2nd floor, and I don't know if I kept the piano or not. I actually can't remember. And then I tried to convince myself the only reason I didn't like how this looked was because of the dining table, and that was not true. I didn't like how it looked because it looks horrible. So, you know, it's a bit of trial and error. Also, if one point I don't know if it's already happened, but at one point it randomly jumps a little bit, because I was doing a little bit off camera because I was doing so much back and forth. I feel like you guys just wouldn't even want to see that. So this is when I thought moving the bowls and the beds would change up the whole build and absolutely save it, and it did not. Now, with the kitchen, again, as I said, it's very, very bland, but again, I feel like a holiday home, I feel like at least everyone I've gone to, they like never have the things you need. Like they'll have like a couple pans and stuff, but they're never quite the right size, or they're really, really old. Anyways, enough about the build for a moment. I need your guys' opinion on something. So, I want to read the book series ACOTAR, which is A Court of Thorns and Roses. I have all the physical books, okay? Like, I own them. I've bought all 5 books. I know there's more coming out, I think. But I want to read them on my Kindle because it is so much more comfortable, like, especially because a lot of the time I read before bed, in bed. So it's so much easier to read on a Kindle than it is holding a physical book. But obviously I already own the physical book. So it's like I'm buying the books all over again just to read them on my Kindle. And I don't know if that's just me being really lazy or not. But I've tried to read ACOTAR before. I got through the first half of the first book and the main character just annoyed me so much. I've heard that after the first 2 books, you start to like her a bit more, but she was just getting on my nerves, so I couldn't read it. I really want to try reading it again though, because I always see how much people love it on my like For You page and stuff on TikTok, so I really want to read it. Also, one of my good friends has read it, so I feel like I'm just coming up with excuses at this point to not read it, because starting another series scares me. I'm already like halfway through so many book series at the moment. So I don't know what to do. I feel like I talked to my mum about this and she was like, just buy them on the Kindle, you know? Why not? Was basically the verdict she gave me. So I mean, that being said, by the time you guys hear this, when I upload it, I probably would have already bought them, because I have just finished, I was reading some like silly little romance book, and that was really fun. Because I've been reading a lot of fantasy lately. So I was like, I feel like I need to try something new, because I feel like the fantasy genre kind of loses its spark after a little while if all you read is fantasy, like back to back. So I felt like I needed a little bit of a break. So that's why I've been reading just like silly romance books, and then I'm going to pick up ACOTAR after. So I feel like that's what I'm trying to do. So it feels like a lot more special, like this cool new world after all I've been reading is romance books, if that makes any sense. So then I remembered, sorry, back to the build now. This is when I remembered that ping pong tables exist in The Sims. And let me tell you, that was a very exciting revelation for me. So then, yeah, this is when, as I said earlier, this is like when I decided like maybe this could be like a frat or like a sorority holiday home. Like that's the kind of energy it's giving a little bit. So I was like a gym, you know, some beer pong. They've got a little hot tub, a massive pool. I've never really tried to make like a gym before. Like this has kind of given me motivation or inspiration. Like I want to actually try and build a gym, especially with the businesses and hobbies pack now. I know you can make a gym and people like charge people for entry. So I feel like that would be really fun. Although I feel like I want to get the pack. I don't know what it's called, but it's like the extra gym stuff. I feel like that would be good, because it's honestly not really much to choose from. Now, guys, please don't get your hopes up. This is a very boring, mundane gym. Like, it's nothing crazy. It's just, you know, so they have workout equipment if they want to use it. And then I do make this little yoga section, and I do also put a yoga instructor mat so that you can do actual classes here as well, which I thought would be really cool. Like, I feel like you'd go away on holiday with your friends and like hire a yoga instructor to come to the house and, you know, teach you all yoga, or like what am I trying to say? I am just not doing, like I think it's because I was just building in The Sims in complete silence for 2 hours, so now me talking is just going terribly. I'm so sorry. This is why the next time I do a voiceover, I'm just gonna do it all in one hit, because now that I've come back to it, I'm just all over the place. I don't know what I'm trying to talk about. But moving back to the build, so I was trying to find a high fence to put around the build, but I kind of really struggled to find a good sized fence for around the build, to be honest, because I just wanted a really, really tall one, but it's hard to find a good sized tall one when the build is 2 stories. Like realistically, we're not going to be able to find a big enough fence that I like. As well as this, obviously the 2-story house is also on a platform, But this is basically what I end up going with. It's nothing crazy, but as I said, I kind of just wanted to close off a little bit more because obviously it doesn't really fit the Newcrest vibe, if you will. And then of course I just chuck in some trees. One thing I will say about Newcrest is adding trees and stuff is so easy. Because obviously there's like a lot of different types of trees here, so it just makes it really simple. And then yeah, so I also add, as I said, these hedges around the side, and like it looks fine from this side, but again, if you turn around and look the other way, it does indeed clip with the fencing, but I don't care, so I hope that helps. But yeah, I just place it all along. I don't do it around the sides or anything like that, I just kind of do it at the front. But yeah, this is like, I kept looking at it because as I said earlier, the glass walls were kind of throwing me off a little bit. I like the idea of them, but with this build, I think there was just a little too much going on, especially because the, like, such an open interior at the bottom, like with the gym and stuff being in the bottom of the house. It just felt like you were seeing so much of the house already. To have full glass walls as well was just a little bit too much. But yeah, this is when I come to terms with the fact that I hate this house. So I pretty much delete most of it. Now, originally, again, I was going to maybe do a bar here or something like that, but I feel like the bar needs a bar back. And if I was going to put a bar back, that would cover all the window. I did try and still make it work. You know, I didn't give up immediately, but we do eventually give up on that dream. But again, I don't know what it is. Like every time I try and make a bar, I just don't like how it looks in The Sims either. Like I think this is just a personal issue that I have. I have personal issues with bars in The Sims and roofs in The Sims. So I feel like I need to work on that a little bit. But yeah, so then I also was thinking maybe some doors out to the pool from the interior of the house would be good as well. Like obviously there's the other access to the pool from the front of the house, but I thought maybe having another access point would be cute, and also would just do a little bit more to the exterior of the home, just because I was thinking it was looking a little bit bland on this end, especially because the main colors of the build are black and white, so it's not exactly an exciting build to look at as such. I don't understand also how people do different leveled platforms but next to each other. I don't know if I explained that very well, but for instance, like the house is on a platform, right? And originally to the right where those stairs are from where the beer pong tables are to like where the pool is, I was just going to do those like as thicker steps by using platforms. But every time I put a platform next to the big platform, it would just automatically rise to the biggest platform size instead of letting me choose the size for that specific spot, if that makes any sense at all. So if you guys know how to fix that or how to go about doing that, please let me know, because I could not figure it out. That being said, I didn't try very hard. I tried once and then gave up immediately, so it wasn't I didn't do much trial and error. But yeah, then we get to around the pool. Now I kind of just wanted it to just be relaxed, some seating. Now to the right of the house where there's like that empty part next to the yoga, I didn't end up putting anything there, and I feel like I maybe should have, but I didn't know what to put there, to be so honest. I really had no idea. And I also kind of had, again, this is The Sims, okay, but this is just me thinking in my head. I was like, I feel like maybe if they want to bring their own sport stuff to play, or they want to set up their own barbecue or party, they obviously want their own space. They don't want everything to be cluttered. Again, obviously it's The Sims, so that doesn't really matter, but in my head, that's what I was thinking. But yeah, so as you can see in the interior of the house, I've actually just ended up making that area sort of just a chill out space. Again, those couches that I'm obsessed with, I put those in there. I put sort of a rug, but it was more like my vision was that when people walk in from the pool, you don't want them getting water all through the floorboards. So I put those there. I just added a couple extra things to the gym. And then I did kind of decide that there was probably a little bit too much empty space in the gym. So I do end up putting in just a sauna. Again, it's nothing crazy. I literally just put a sauna and like that's it. Like I didn't like over decorate it or anything. And then yeah, as I was saying, there's also, I mean, I was talking about the right side of the house, but to the left side of the house as well, there's obviously all this free space. So I thought maybe like a basketball court would be fun, but I do end up getting rid of that as well. It just looked really odd. I think it's because it's connected to the tiling around the pool and it just didn't look right. So I do end up getting rid of it. But this is the final product. I don't know why it jumps to the end like that. I think I just forgot to film the last little bits. But yeah, so this is the gym. This is the inside of the house. We got the first bedroom, another bedroom with 4 beds. There's definitely a clip missing here because you guys didn't see me. Did I decorate these on the camera? I can't remember. But anyway, so that's kind of the finalized build. I mean, you guys get the idea anyways. But yeah, thank you all so much for watching and I will see you all next time.